Hey, house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 25 updates and spoilers. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're all having a great day so far. Our house guests of the day are Nick Petrella and Skylar Brown. Thank you both so much for the support. We cannot do this without you. We appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. And I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters because that's another fantastic way to support our work. So Jefferson Tucker and Mary Ellen L, thank you so much as always for your super chats. I don't know if that little meow was just picked up on the stream or not, but Lammy was like, very cute. Okay, so let's get started because we have some interesting stuff to talk about here today. When we left off yesterday, they had just had the power veto ceremony. Jag used the POV on Corey, and Jared put up Cameron in his place. So we've got America versus Cameron on the block. And it looks like Cameron's going to be going unless there's like a dramatic flip, right? Things are not as set in stone as we thought they were going to be. We'll get into all that. But anyway, everyone's wondering what kind of campaign is Cameron going to put out there, right? He caused so much chaos last week. Is he going to be able to do that again? Right? We saw his pre-veto campaign when he was just trying to stay off the block. And he was basically begging people to help him make it to jury, right? He was saying, I need to make jury for financial reasons. I'm raising an 8-year-old daughter. And he's telling people, I'm for hire. And he was really focusing specifically on Jared, Blue, Jag, and Matt. And he was telling them, if I win HOH, you four can have my room, you can have all of my snacks, and you can pick my nominees. He says, I will not have any input, and I will help you all to make it further in this game. The campaign didn't work then. Who knows if it's going to work now? Who knows what else he's going to come up with, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. In other news, we saw Felicia putting the pieces together that Jared and Cirie were fine with her potentially leaving last week. And in fact, they were not only fine with it, they were campaigning to keep Izzy over her, right? They were upset when the votes were flipping for Felicia to stay. So Felicia was saying if she wins HOH, she's going to put up Jared and Cirie. Uh-oh. And she's trying to pull in people to create a new group. So she was making the rounds yesterday, talking about how she was wronged by Jared and Cirie. So this new group that she was trying to put together, it would be Mimi, of course, right? Her final two. She's trying to pull in Corey and America, Bowie, Jag, and Matt. Everybody sees at this point that Bowie is going to be a really important number moving forward because there are new sides forming, right? And she is just kind of in the middle. So everybody wants to scoop up Bowie. So this group that Felicia's trying to put together is basically everyone except for Jared, Cirie, and Blue. Another whole house alliance, basically. Okay. So anyway, Blue and Felicia had a chat yesterday in the storage room. This was all part of Felicia's campaign tour against Jared and Cirie. So Blue says last week was really crazy. And I just wanted to check in and see if you have any questions, right? So Blue was actually the one that initiated this conversation, but then Felicia started going into her whole pitch. But anyway, Blue tells Felicia, we've started a really good relationship here, and I want to continue that with you. And I've been saying now for a few weeks that I want to be seen as my own individual player, right? She's not just Jared's showmance. She says, I want to offer an olive branch to you, right? And make sure things are good after what happened with the vote last week. So Felicia says, yeah, I really appreciate that. I learned a lot last week. I've learned that the people that I thought had my back the most were gunning for me to go home. And that was really disappointing to find out. She's talking about Jared and Cirie. And she says, it has me really questioning who I trust in this house. So Felicia's like, I hear you when you say that you want to play your own individual game. What does that mean exactly, right? What are you saying there? So first, Blue explains what happened with the votes last week. And this is just like the most basic explanation. She's not really like throwing out any names or anything. But she says, 7 deadly sins, we had our meeting and everybody had decided that we were going to keep Izzy. But then everything blew up and the vote flipped to keep you. That's all you got? So then Blue says, honestly, I would have been fine keeping you or Izzy, right? Because I wasn't really like super close to one or the other. Maybe a little bit closer to Izzy. I don't know, but I'm also good with you. So she says I could have gone either way. And Felicia's like, I totally get that. Totally cool. As for the whole like having her own individual game, Blue says, I want to keep my personal relationship with Jared. You do? Why? But she says her game relationship with Jared has changed immensely since last week. She says, I hope that this can stay between us, but I'm going to be focusing on the best strategy for me moving forward, with or without him. You too. So Blue says, I found out that Jared was spilling a lot of stuff that I was telling him, and he was spilling it to Izzy. So she wasn't happy about that. And again, she's saying, I want to be seen as an individual player. So Felicia's like, cool, I'm so glad to hear that. She's like, just to be clear, I think that you and Jared make a genuine, nice couple. I don't know that I agree with that, but that's, that's her opinion. She says, but don't let that destroy your game, right? She's basically saying Jared is not good for your game. So Felicia brings up again how disappointed she was by Cirie and Jared last week. She says what bothers her the most is she's not sure why they did what they did. Why were they wanting to keep Izzy over her, right? What she's not saying here is like, I'm supposed to be in a Final Four alliance with Jared and Cirie. Why are they picking Izzy over me? Like, what's going on here? So Blue's like, I want to tell you something right now, but you got to promise me that you're not going to spill this to anyone. So Blue lets Felicia know that Cirie was the one who told her that Felicia created the For Real Alliance. Because remember, she brought it up the other day at the Seven Deadly Sins meeting, and Felicia was like, I didn't make that alliance, right? And Blue says, when I brought it up, Cirie was claiming that Corey created the alliance when that's not what she told me before. So Felicia says, yeah, it was more of a Cirie Izzy thing. Like Corey wasn't even the one that created that. So Felicia was wondering if Cirie was the one spreading that she had started the alliance. So now she's getting some confirmation on that from Blue. So Felicia says she still loves Cirie and Jared as people, right? She sees Cirie as like a sister. Jared's like her son. But she says game-wise, I'm done with them. So Felicia says, I was telling Jag about this. We should just remove Cirie and Jared from the Seven Deadly Sins and bring in Corey in America. But she says we got to be working with people that we truly trust, right? We can't be wasting our time with like Jared and Cirie, who are going to be running around making all these other alliances, yada yada yada. So Blue is like, ing during this conversation. She says, I'm in a very sticky position right now, right? I'm here to play. If I was here to find a boyfriend, I would be on Love Island. All right, we'll see. So anyway, a few minutes later, Blue chats with Jag in the scary bedroom. Blue is telling him all about her conversation with Felicia, and they're trying to get their stories straight here because they want to know what to say to Cirie and Jared if they ask them, like, what were you talking about with Felicia? We saw you talking to Felicia. What's going on there? So they plan on telling Jared and Cirie that Felicia was like bombarding them with questions about last week's vote and really trying to get to the bottom of what happened. So they're like trying to come up with what they're going to say. They are pumped that Felicia and Mimi have now seemingly turned against Jared and Cirie. They're like, that's great for us, because they weren't really sure what Felicia or Mimi would do if they were to win HOH. And Jag is hoping they can have the same thing the other way, right? He's hoping that Jared and Cirie will turn on Felicia since she keeps trying to dig into the details of last week's vote, right? He's hoping if Cirie wins, maybe she would target Felicia over them. No. Okay. But anyway, Jag and Corey chat in the scrambled bedroom, and Jag lets Corey know, yeah, Felicia's basically trying to get the entire house to work together to target Jared and Cirie next. And this was a short conversation because somebody else like came in. But Corey says Felicia's trying to cover her own ass, but it's fine, right? We're in a good spot right now. It is what it is. Okay. Meanwhile, Cirie and Felicia have a chat in the kitchen. This is interesting. Cirie says that Jag, Corey, and America are setting themselves up to be in the final three. And she tells Felicia, just watch. I can see it happening right before my eyes. So she tells Felicia, please Do not say anything. I'm begging you. Don't share this with anyone. She says, I bet they're going to get rid of Jared next week. And Felicia's like, you think so? I mean, Felicia's in on that plan at this point. So Cirie says, I don't think that group is going to be as worried about me as they are about Jared. They're going to take out Cameron this week, then Jared, and then probably me. So Cirie also tells Felicia, that group of like Jag and Matt and all them, or no, not Jag and Matt, but like Jag, Corey, America, they're scared to sit next to you or Matt in the end. So they're going to go after you two, and then they're going to leave Bowie and Mimi for last. Just watch. Now, this is interesting because Felicia had said in the past that she'd be scared to sit next to Matt because she thinks that Matt would win in a landslide. So Cirie kind of like took that information and added in Felicia. Yeah, so Cirie is like, I can see it happening right before my eyes. I see how it's all going to play out. And Felicia says, well, they haven't said anything about that to me, so. So Cirie is begging Felicia, again, please do not repeat any of that to anyone. And Felicia's like, no, I'm not going to say anything. They're not going to hear it from me. Felicia's playing it cool here, right? She's keeping it under wraps that she's not happy with Cirie or Jared right now. So Cirie says this is really where the rubber meets the road. Whoever has Bowie Jane has the numbers. She's going through the breakdown again, right? We've got Brown Sugar Babes on one side, which is Jared, Cirie, Mimi, and Felicia. And then we've got the other side, Jag, Matt, Corey, and America. And then there's Blue and Bowie Jane. Not really sure where they're at this point. So Cirie says a lot is going to come down to who wins this next HOH. It really is, though. Cirie says we have to keep Seven Deadly Sins thinking that we're with them, because as soon as they think that we're questioning it, it's over for us. They're going to come after us. All right. So a little later, Blue checks in with Cirie. And Blue's like, oh, Felicia, did you see before I was talking to her? Felicia trapped me in the storage room and asked me hella questions about last week's vote. She's really laying it on thick here. She says, I think Felicia's been making her rounds, asking everyone about what happened with the vote last week. And Cirie's like, well, she hasn't asked me about it yet. What's going on there? So a little later, Cirie and Felicia are sitting outside eating. And Cirie starts apologizing for not leading the charge with the vote last week, right? She's still trying to play it up like she was waiting to see what other people were going to do. And she's playing it up like she wanted to keep Felicia, but she just wasn't telling anyone that. So she says, I should have just bit the bullet and told everyone what I was doing. I'm really sorry about that. I love you, and I don't want this to taint our relationship. And I'm sure you don't. But, Felicia knows that Cirie is still lying here. Cirie is trying to play it off like she did want Felicia to stay. But Felicia knows that Cirie was wanting Izzy to stay. So, yeah. Anyway, as Cirie was apologizing to Felicia, the feeds cut inexplicably for like 40 minutes. And the feeds were awful for the rest of the night. In and out, long feed cuts with short flashes of feeds in between. It was like really annoying to watch. But we still got a little bit of interesting stuff out of that whole thing. So a little later, Jag, Matt, and Blue were chatting in the scary bedroom. And Blue was telling them, the way that you guys can't really take a shot at Corey or America, I can. What? So now she wants to take a shot at Corey and America. Like, what is going on here? She says, or maybe we throw it to them? This girl is all over the place. She's still saying, like, maybe we just throw the comp and then Corey and America can do what they're going to do, whatever. Jag says, I think it's bad for all of our games to take a shot at Corey or America at this point. And Blue is like, no, I wouldn't actually take a shot at them. It's just a front. So I guess she's saying she would put them up on the block, but then backdoor someone else. I don't know. Blue is saying again, maybe we should just throw the HOH and let the others take shots at each other. So you can tell here, she does not want to win HOH, right? And if she does win HOH, she does not want to put up Jared and Cirie. She talked a big game earlier this week when she was like, I'm going to take Jared out. It's going to be by my hand, blah, blah, blah. And now she's backing off from that. So Matt says, I think the three of us should definitely be safe next week. I don't think anybody's really looking to target us in this moment. But he's nervous if they do throw HOH and and Mimi or Bowie win. They're not really sure what those two would do, right? They don't know who they would put up. They don't know who they would target. So he's not totally comfortable throwing that comp, especially since Corey and America have not proven to be strong, like super strong competitors. So Jag says basically that they should only win HOH if they're ready to show their cards. Because if they're not and they win, it's just a waste. He says it would be such a waste to just send someone out like Bowie, right? He doesn't want that to be what they do with the power. So Blue's like, yeah, it'd be a waste of an HOH, but at least it would secure all three of our spots in jury. Wow, what exciting gameplay. Jag says, yeah, securing our spots in jury is definitely the main thing right now. And who we would take out is secondary. What is this conversation? I don't like when these three talk because it's not good. But Blue's like, do you think Corey or America would actually put Cirie up if they were to win, or would they be too scared to do it? So in this conversation, it definitely seems like they're talking like Cirie should be the target going into next week. When they were talking before, like it's definitely Jared, right? So I think they're just acting like Cirie's the number one target here because Blue is in this conversation, right? And she's clearly warming back up to Jared. So they don't want to like spill too much in front of her about targeting Jared. It's a whole thing. So eventually Jag says, look, we're going to have to take a shot at Jared at some point. Now he asks Blue, what does that look like for you? Because you are in such close proximity to Jared. That's one way to put it. Blue says, I already told you before, if Jared is leaving this house, it's because of me. I'm taking the shot at Jared. Whenever I win HOH, it's going to be my shot. I'm not buying this. She says, if someone else takes the shot before that and it makes sense, I'm not going to like pause everything, right? You know, if it makes sense, then we just go with it. But then Blue brings up, if we do take out Cirie, Jared will come to us and he's a good competitor, right? So he could be good on our team. We need to stay good with him just in case that happens. Boo. Okay. I mean, it does make sense for her game to want Jared to stay, but it's also like, bleh. It's a lot after, earlier in the week, she was all like, I would take out Jared. Okay. So meanwhile, Jared and Cirie are chatting in the HOH room. And Jared says, we need to get Jag out of here sooner rather than later. Uh-oh, he's back on the Jag train. Cirie says, yeah, I can tell Jag is up to something because he's wearing his sunglasses right now inside. Yeah. She's not wrong. So Jared says he thinks that people are going to target Felicia next week because she's been asking so many questions about last week's vote. You think they're going to target Felicia? Cirie says, good. Let her keep at it. I don't think they're going to be targeting Felicia. Cirie asks, why are you saying now that we have to get Jag? Like, what's going on here? What changed? And Jared says, well, Jag is the next best competitor, right? And Cirie's like, yeah, and Jag is the connection to everything. So if he goes, that's it for that other group, right? They're going to fall apart. So Jared is really thinking he wants Mimi to win HOH and take out Jag. It's just so hard to tell where Mimi stands sometimes, and what she would do or wouldn't do. We're going to talk more about Mimi in a little bit, but Cirie's like, I don't think Mimi's been trying in competitions, right? It's funny because they were talking about the pressure cooker and how she lasted so long, and then, she kind of, they were saying that she dropped out because of a little deal, but I think she actually just like slipped. And then Jared made the argument like, oh, she spent like 14 hours in the pressure cooker. I wouldn't exactly consider that like throwing it, which is funny because he had a much different opinion about America and whether or not she threw the pressure cooker competition when she also took a deal and dropped out, right? So it's a little funny to see the differing opinions here on the same situation. But anyway, Jared says he might need to step back in competitions a little bit because he's been winning too many and it's putting a big target on his back. Dude, this is not the time for you to stop winning competitions. I don't think Jared realizes here how much trouble he's in. But Cirie says she would love to win the next HOH and make a move here. But Jared, again, is insisting that it's better for Mimi to win because if she's the one to take out Jag, he and Cirie can save face with Matt and Blue, right? Okay. So Jared says we should be good with Mimi because as long as we have Felicia, we have Mimi. Do you still have Felicia? I don't know about that. Jared is also very confident that, again, people are targeting Felicia right now. And he's also saying he thinks that Jag would target Corey before he targets him. That's a terrible read. What? He says he's worried about Jag, but then he says that he thinks that Jag is going to target Corey. His reads are all over the place. Cirie says, well, I hope you're right. Right? I hope that is the case. Okay. He also doesn't seem to realize how close Jag and Matt are, which is crazy to me because I feel like they're almost always together. But anyway, later, there's a late night game chat with Matt, Jag, and Corey. And they're trying to figure out how would we navigate Blue winning HOH? Clearly, she's not actually on board with targeting Jared anymore, like she was saying she was before. So how do they get her to do that, right? They wouldn't want her HOH to be a waste if she like took out Bowie or Mimi. They're also nervous that Jared would just bulldoze Blue and control her HOH and do whatever he wants. Definitely see that as a possibility, especially if it was during the double and there wasn't a lot of time to discuss things. So anyway, they're trying to figure out how do we get Blue to target Jared. So good luck. They're talking about how maybe they'd have to remind Blue that Jared treats her like crap. They don't want to get too deep into the personal stuff, even though it's there. But they want to focus game-wise. I mean, Jared had all these alliances that he didn't tell Blue about. They'll tell her, we all want to work with you, but we're nervous because of how close you are with Jared. And he's targeting all of us, the people that you're working with. So this is a big one. They're also going to tell Blue, like, you'll be the baddest bitch in Big Brother history if you take out your showmance. Honestly, this would probably be the most effective way of getting through to Blue. But yeah, at this point, I don't know if any of this is going to work because she is definitely like back in his clutches. So anyway, today, if you were thinking that this week is all settled and done, it is not over yet. That's right. Lammy said, ah. So this morning, Mimi is thinking out loud in the storage room and she's talking about wanting Cameron to stay this week. Oh boy. She is convincing, she said convincing people to keep Cameron though would be like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Like, how do we even make this happen when people are so seemingly set on Cameron leaving? She says, though, her concern is that if Cameron goes this week, Jared and Cirie become the targets next week, right? Cameron is a huge shield for a lot of people because a lot of people would target Cameron before anyone else. So yeah, she doesn't want Jared and Cirie to be targets next week. So she's like, how am I going to do this? A few minutes later, Mimi and Felicia are chatting in the storage room. And Felicia says, my spirit is telling me to shift. She says, Jag and all them, Jag, Corey, America, whatever, they were saying that they would put up Jared and Cirie if they win HOH. And I was on board with that yesterday. But she says, today, I had an epiphany. She said, Jag and Blue have both been talking to me and both are using like the same exact language, right? They're using the same phrases and words with me. And they are pushing for the 7 deadly sins to take out Jared and Cirie and add in Corey, America, and Mimi. Now, Felicia was the one really pushing for this yesterday. But I do see what she's going for here. She says, I don't like that Jag and Blue are trying to paint a negative picture of me to Cirie and Jared, right? Because she says they're going around saying that I'm forcing people to tell me what happened with last week's vote. So she doesn't like that because she feels like they are setting her up just in case Cirie wins HOH, right? They're going to be against her. So Felicia says, as much as I'm pissed off at Jared and Cirie, do I trust them more than I trust the Jags and the Blues of this house? So Felicia asks Mimi, which of these groups do you think that we have the most viability with? Do we say something to Jared and Cirie, or do we let this play out? Like, what do we do in the situation? She says, if we get rid of the brown sugar babes and just let them go, we're probably going to be the next ones out, right? It sounds like maybe what Cirie said about Jag, Corey, and America wanting to go to the final three together is kind of like striking a chord with Felicia. So Mimi says she's not really sure it would be helpful to say anything to Jared and Cirie at this point. And Felicia agrees. She's like, maybe we wait until after we see who wins next HOH, and then we go from there. They do talk about what they would do if Jared and Cirie do end up on the block. And they agree that the target would be Jared, right? Because he's the stronger competitor. But Felicia says she would rather send Cirie out and keep Jared because he would be a shield. Keep Jared. Why? We don't get to hear the rest of this conversation, unfortunately, because the feeds flip, but I'm sure we'll be hearing more later on. So a little later, Felicia and Corey chat in the storage room. And Corey says, look, I just want to be straightforward with you. I'm so tired. I can't deal with all the telephone games and all that. So I just want to confront you about this. Corey says, I heard that you told Cirie that there is a final three between me, America, and Jag. And Felicia's like, I did not say that, but I did hear it. She's trying to figure out, like, where did I hear this? And then she remembers, oh, I heard this from Cirie. And this is correct, right? We just talked about this in today's spoiler. Cirie was the one who said that to Felicia. And then I believe Cirie went and told Blue that she heard it from Felicia. So she tried to flip it around on Felicia to get the target on her if this information got out. So, which it clearly went around the house. So Corey's like, all right, that's what I figured. I figured it was Cirie who said it and not you. So Felicia's like, wait, she said that I told her that? And Corey's like, yep, that's what I heard, but I'm not supposed to be telling you. So keep it on the down low. Felicia says, I don't know why everyone's trying to tie my name to bullshit. And Corey says it's happening to a lot of people, right? And it's a lot of Cirie doing that. And he says Cirie is clearly trying to set you up so that if I win HOH, I will be looking at you instead of her. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely onto Cirie's game at this point. So Felicia brings up, I kind of feel like I'm getting played again. She mentions how Jag and Blue were using the same language, trying to throw her under the bus to Jared and Cirie. So she's talking to Corey about the same stuff that she was mentioning to Mimi earlier. And Corey's like, yeah, I mean, Jag and Blue are probably trying to cover their asses just in case Cirie wins HOH, and get the target on you. But he says, I'm pretty sure if Cirie were to win HOH, she'd probably put up me in America. I could definitely see that. Anyway, Corey says he's hoping that they're going to get out Jared or Cirie next. They'll be down to the final 9. And then he says he wants to get something going with Felicia, Mimi, and America. And Felicia's like, oh, it's a 4. Okay. Felicia says she thinks she can get Bowie as well. That would be a nice number 5 for them. She says Bowie is looking for a place to land. This would be a really unexpected and interesting alliance. I don't know if it would ever actually happen, but it's being floated out there. So Corey says, I'm going to come to you if I hear any more BS because I just want to be able to straighten things out and not have it be this whole thing. So they keep talking a little bit, and Felicia brings up, if Jared and Cirie are nominated next week, she says it would make sense to keep Jared since he's the bigger target. And she's like, what do you think, Corey? And Corey's like, not that. He says it makes more sense for him, personally, for Jared to go, right? Because he says Jared won HOH and just put me and America up on the block, and he's a stronger competitor. So he says Jared would have to go for him. So Corey also says, obviously he would not put Matt and Jag up on the block right now if he were to win HOH, but he knows he cannot go to the end with them. It would not make sense. They're super strong competitors. They would have a great chance to win this whole thing. So he's letting Felicia know, like, we don't actually have an end game deal with them. And he's trying to make Felicia feel more comfortable about potentially working with him and like be less worried about Matt and Jag getting together with Corey in America. So it's interesting. I don't even know at this point what Corey's end game plan would be, but I would imagine you would not want to go to the end with Matt and Jag, right? So anyway, Jared and Blue have a chat in the HOH room. And I have to mention too, like, is this going to change Felicia's thoughts now that she's hearing that Cirie was trying to set her up? Like, is she going to flip back to wanting Cirie or Jared out? I don't know. We haven't really seen the results of that yet, but I'm sure we'll see some of that later on. All right. So then we have Jared and Blue chatting in the HOH. And Jared said, well, I just talked to Cameron and he told me that I'm the next target. And Blue's like, yeah, but I mean, we knew that. We knew that Corey or America, if they win HOH, they're going to go for you. But like, other than that, you should be fine. And Jared's like, oh, I'm not worried about Corey or America winning. But he says, I am worried about Jag. Uh-oh, Blue's best friend. So Blue says, Jag wouldn't target you. She says, what does Cameron know? And she says, I feel like it would be dumb for Jag to make you his target. I have to believe if Jag did win HOH, Blue would be campaigning hard for him to go after Cirie instead of Jared. If even Cirie. She might even be like, don't go after either of them. I wouldn't be surprised. But Jared seems really nervous and like shaken up after this conversation with Cameron. And he says, I need Jag gone. He says, I think Matt would be somewhat on board with me taking out Jag. Absolutely not. I don't understand why he doesn't realize how close Matt and Jag are. That's a lot. But Jared says he's kind of hoping in a way that Jag does win the next HOH so that Jared can play for the power veto and do what he needs to do and like just get this over with. So Jared's like, also maybe I'll have to keep Cameron and like sick him on Jag. Oh boy, so he's thinking about that too. So he says if Jag is still feeling some type of way, then he's going to be a problem for me. Uh-oh. All right. A little later, Blue and Matt chat in the have-not room, and Blue admits if she wins HOH, she would not put Jared and Cirie up on the block. Big surprise. She says it doesn't make sense for her game, and of course, like, it doesn't. But again, it's just annoying after she was all like, if I win HOH, I'm putting up Jared and Cirie and taking out Jared. And now she's walking that back. But she says it doesn't make sense for my game. I'm not going to do Corey and America's dirty work for them. And that's what it is. And it seemed like Matt was trying to like reason with her a little bit, but she was like, no, I'm not doing it. All right. So we've got 2 days left until the eviction. And Thursday is really shaping up to be interesting. Will Cameron still even be the first evictee? We don't know, right? We need to see more conversations. At this point, he's still going, but I'm sure there will be some discussions about whether that's the right move or not.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Bowie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Just
That's one of
tired.
us.
Yeah. And then the next big question, who is going to win HOH? And then who's going to get evicted second? I don't know. I have no idea.
Was Lammy behind that?
She was like under the chair for a little bit.
Because I think she was behind that.
Oh, maybe.
She was
She's an
ready to
adventurous little
pounce.
kitty.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this week plays out. And then the double eviction. We've always said this. We're never fully happy with what happens during a double
Never.
eviction. So we'll see if that holds up this season as well. Yeah, so I want to thank today's super chatters because you are all fantastic. Okay, Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Jody says, yes, back from New York City and got COVID. Oh no.
Oh.
Negative today, but tired. Thanks for your updates. Still about a day behind. Also, hi, Mom.
Oh,
Home be crazy
hi.
still. I hope you're feeling better. That sucks.
Yeah.
Seems like COVID is really going around again.
It's peaking.
Yeah, it's not good. So everybody be careful out there. Thank you again, Jody.
People are coming to New York for the leaves.
And
now
they're-
they're going to go home with COVID.
Or they're bringing it here.
Yeah.
It's all over. Alyssa Calloway, thank you so much. Alyssa says, thank you both for everything you do. Oh, you and Janet make Big Brother so enjoyable. I love watching the feeds updates every day when I do my nails. Oh, fun. And this is Alyssa's first super chat. Yay! Thank you so much. Do you do like the fun nail art, like with all the
Crystals,
like the crystals and the cool designs?
Yeah.
I wish I could do stuff like that, but I just know that I would chip them like 5 seconds in. Or you call me gloppy all the time because
Yeah, you're gloppy.
I'm not good at nails. That's why I never paint my nails. But that's awesome. Thank you so much. Christine, thank you so much. Christine says, if America goes instead of Cameron, I may stop watching. Can't have that. She deserves to stay there. She deserves a break already. She has had a tough go of it, right? Some of it she's brought on herself, but I feel like a lot of it was really, she was a scapegoat for a bunch of people.
Her and Jag.
Yeah. Well, Jag is also like not great at this game. Again, some of it brought on himself, but also scapegoated quite a bit. But yeah, I will definitely be disappointed if America's evicted. But it would also be pretty interesting if Cameron were to stay after all that. So
Cameron seems like the only one with enough balls
to like make a big move.
Yeah.
I don't know though what he would do if he was saved by like Mimi, Cirie, Felicia, and like Blue or something. Like I don't know who he would stay loyal to or what he would do. Who knows? But anyway, thank you. Renee A, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. Gail Murphy Comedy, thank you so much. What does this say? Number 1. Yay! Very cute. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much for the super chat. Treval K, thank you so much. Treval says, thanks for all you do and your mom do for us. You're welcome. I still look forward to my evening updates. I listen while walking my dog every day except Sunday. Great job. Oh, say hi to your dog for me. I love that. That's a lot of fun. Deb Wicks, thank you so much. Dance it out. Connor Benson, thank you. And Connor says, great job today. Well, seems to me that Cameron will probably make jury. They have America on the block. It's too tempting of a chance. This will hurt Corey moving forward. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be freaking wild if they actually do end up keeping Cameron.
But what is Corey even doing?
What do you mean?
I don't understand his gameplay for like the first few weeks of the game where he was like
throwing her under the bus.
Yeah.
He was definitely trying to make it seem like he was open to getting rid of her at any time, but I think he was like going too hard with it and he ended up like making her a bigger target. So I think he overcompensated a bit.
What kind of strategy is that? I don't get it.
I don't know. I think he's a 21-year-old and yeah.
Is he a super fan?
Yeah.
Of Big Brother?
Of Big Brother.
Survivor?
Big Brother. Yeah, I don't know. But I think also he doesn't watch feeds, so does that count as a super fan?
No.
Laura G, thank you so much. Laura asks, they even realize it will be a double. There's definitely some speculation about it, but of course,
some pitter-patter?
Yeah, nobody knows for sure, right? But some of them do think that maybe it could be. All right, so thank you all so much for being here. I gotta go home, and
get out.
Yeah, I'm about to get kicked out of here, and I will be back tomorrow for more. Oh, you like my shirt? Thank you. This is for an awesome cat cafe in Beacon, and they also have a second location in New Paltz if anybody is around the area. They have a lot of cute kitties that are all up for adoption, and you can hang out with them and have like drinks and stuff. So definitely recommend Beans Cat Cafe. Okay, so now we're gonna head out. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and until next time, much love. Bye, everybody.